Yes, people, welcome back to my channel. Romario Webster here. Before we get into today's video, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to my channel, turn on your notifications as I'm dropping weekly football content. As you can tell from the channel and the title of today's video, I'm an Arsenal fan, and today we're looking ahead to the huge game at Anfield, Liverpool v Arsenal this Sunday. And I'll be honest, I'm nervous. I'm very nervous. It's always a tough game. Always a tough away day at Anfield. It's one of the best atmospheres in the country, in the world, to be honest. And we don't always do well there. I'll never forget that game where we went there. Gabriel Jesus scored a header to put us 2-0 up. And you're all thinking, it was a 22-23 season, and you're all thinking, that's it. Arsenal are going to go on and win the league. We end up drawing the game 2-2, and from then our season just sort of unravelled. So it's a place that we haven't had a lot of success at. A bit of a bogey ground for us. I can't actually remember the last time we won there, to be honest. So it's a huge game. A huge game. The sort of game where if you say to me, if you got offered a draw, would you take it? I would. I'll be honest. I'd take a point right now. But I believe we can win. And I'm going to explain why I think we can win. Now, does this game decide the title? No, I don't think it does, but it obviously has an impact. I think if somebody wins this game, they feel a lot more confident. Liverpool, last season's champions, if they come away with a win, they'll feel like they're still stronger and better than us. If we win, we'll feel like all the new signings, a few tactical changes we've made have paid off. And it's only 3 games in, but if you can go to Anfield and get a win at any point in the season, it's a huge victory. But why do I think Arsenal can win? Now, we've seen from Liverpool's opening 2 games against Newcastle and Bournemouth. They played Bournemouth first game of the season, took a 2-goal lead, eventually managed to get pegged back 2-2 with Semenyo having a great game. And then they eventually ran out winners 4-2. Chiesa off the bench, grabbing the winner with Salah getting his inevitable first game, first goal in a Premier League season. It's crazy how he does it, Salah. Even got an assist against Newcastle despite being pretty much non-existent. But even against Newcastle, Liverpool again, 2-goal lead. Let themselves get pegged back to 2-2 despite Newcastle having 10 men. And Newcastle, to be honest, were probably the better team, maybe deserved to walk away with a point, but shouts out the wonder kid Rio and Gamoa, who I did speak about previous to the season starting. Go check that out on the channel, Premier League Wonder Kids. And I knew Ngamoa would have an impact. I didn't think he'd have an impact this soon, if I'm being honest. I didn't think he'd be coming off the bench, winning games for Liverpool at St James's Park, but you have to take your hat off. But defensively, I think Liverpool are quite weak, based of what we've seen. It's only 2 games, as I keep saying, but I just think they're easy to get at. I've always thought, actually, even under Klopp, I've always thought Liverpool weren't defensively the best. I thought they were more dominant in attack with the likes of Mane, Firmino, Salah. Then in recent times, Salah, Gakpo, Luis Diaz last season, of course, rest in peace, Diogo Jota. They've always had great attackers at their team, and the midfielders always helped as well with the fullbacks, Trent, Robertson down the years. But it seems they've gone even more attacking with Frimpong coming in. Of course, he's injured for the game on Sunday, which is a relief for Arsenal. So Szoboszlai will likely play there. He actually had a decent game against Newcastle, but Liverpool don't want Szoboszlai to be at right back. They don't. He's a midfielder, number 10. That's where he plays. Left back, Kerkez. Looks nervous, I'll be honest. I'm a big fan of Milos Kerkez. I think he's a good player. At Bournemouth, he had a very good season last year under Andoni Iraola. And he's only, 22, 23 years old. Young player, Hungarian international. So he's a good player, but he looks nervous. And defensively, he's not the greatest. There's actually been a lot of clips online this week that have shown Noni Madueke against Bournemouth last season, where, of course, they matched up on the right-hand side where Madueke was playing, which he will play, I believe, this Sunday, as Saka is injured, unfortunately. But Madueke got the better of Kerkez a lot in that game. Madueke also got the better of Andy Robertson last season when Chelsea went there to Anfield. So I think it's a sort of game where we can target those fullbacks, with Madueke likely to debutise at right wing, and the man I'm going to talk about later in the video on the left wing. I think they can have an impact. They're going to be key to Arsenal winning the game, and also set pieces. I don't think Liverpool are very strong from set pieces. Arne Slot, I just watched his press conference a moment ago, and he said, against Newcastle, conceding from a set piece is what sort of gave the fans, the players, the belief that they could get something out of the game. Of course, Liverpool go on and win it, but Newcastle were moments away from securing a draw despite being having 10 men on the field. So for Newcastle to come back via a set piece, Guimaraes scoring that goal, and he bullied Kirkes. He bullied him. I think, and everyone knows, set piece again, ole ole. That is Arsenal, set piece FC. I think we can bully Liverpool. Big Gabby, Saliba in the box. I think you'll see Calafiori start. He obviously scored against Manchester United. Timber scored a header against Leeds. You've got Gyökeres in there, Rice. So we've got options. We've got players with height who can attack the ball. Rice, to be honest, will likely be taking the corners from the left-hand side. But we've got dangers in the opposition box when it comes to set pieces. If we are going to win this game, we will have to score from a set piece. I just think when you score from a set piece, it just takes the life out of the other team because it feels like you can't do much to stop it. Arguably, Manchester United, I know their fans are very critical of Bayern in goal. Felt like he flapped it, and he did. But you see the header Timber scores against Leeds, and then his second goal in the second half where it's just scrappy. Arsenal have this knack of just forcing the ball in the net at corners. I think we scored 39 goals from set pieces in the last 3 seasons, which is incredible, to be honest. It's incredible. So I think Liverpool's weakness at set pieces and Arsenal's strength is something that we can sort of exploit and hopefully take advantage of. I mean, what's interesting around this game is the sort of narratives. Now, a video that will likely come out later on my channel later on this week or this weekend, depending if the deal goes over the line. Pierre Hinchape, it looks like he will become an Arsenal player. Bayer Leverkusen, left centre-back, left-back. He will replace Jakub Kiwior, who looks like he's on the way to FC Porto. So there's that narrative. Arsenal are still strengthening. They've obviously just brought in Eberechi Eze, who I'm going to speak about in more depth shortly. But it looks like Liverpool are on the verge of signing Alexander Isak. Newcastle have signed German striker Nick Voltemada. I think, hold on, let me just confirm that's his name. Yeah, Nick Voltemada. So he's in the door at Newcastle, 80 million euros. I mean, if that's not an Isak replacement, I don't know what is. I'll be amazed if they keep hold of Isak now, to be honest, because they've spoken about their difficulties with PSR and that, they can't just spend all the money they have because they have got money. They're owned by the PIF, Saudi Arabia. So they can spend money. That's not an object for them, but the rules are what restrict them. So I think they're in a position where they almost need to make a big sale, and Isak's the obvious one. So who knows? Maybe if there's news that breaks before the game that Isak has agreed a deal, that just gives the Liverpool fans an extra buzz. You saw the impact that Eze being unveiled on the pitch before Leeds. The whole stadium, I was there, the whole stadium just had this lift. The atmosphere was already decent, but when Eze walked out on that pitch, it's just like it pulled everyone together and everyone was just excited for what was to come. And Liverpool, if Liverpool can get Isak over the line, I mean, or sort of start nearing towards where Fabrizio tweets, "Here we go," and Ornstein saying a deal's been agreed, those Liverpool fans are going to be on a high. They're going to be buzzed. They're going to be going into the game confident and knowing they've got a star striker coming in, and after the international break, you're likely to see him. So, yeah, man, I hope that deal doesn't get announced or it doesn't get close before the game. I hope it's a deadline day sort of deal where everything moves really fast, because I'm telling you, if Liverpool move quick and they get, a good feeling, and I'm recording this on Friday, so if Liverpool even strike a deal with him today or get a fee agreed or start negotiating, I'm telling you now, the Liverpool fans get boosted. It gives them a lift, and that is what we don't want. So, Alexander Isak, stay in Newcastle until Monday at least. Just let us go to Anfield without them getting that extra buzz. That would be delightful. But yeah, before I go, I'm going to do a predicted 11 and a score prediction. So yeah, I'm going to try not bottle the score prediction. I'm going to try not to. So Arsenal fans, forgive me. But predicted 11, graphic on screen once it's done. David Raya in goal. Not much more to say there. I would start Jurrien Timber, mainly because I just think he's rock solid defensively. I think he's incredible, Jurrien Timber. I think he's so good. He will likely play up against his national compatriot, Cody Gakpo. He'll probably know him quite well. Likewise, Gakpo will know Timber quite well. But that's just what I want to see. Saliba Gabriel at the back sort of explains itself. Best centre-back partnership in the league, without a doubt. At left-back, Calafiori. the same back five that started against Leeds, and I'd start it again. I think that is probably right now, based on form, ability, considering everything. I think that's our best back five. I think Ben White and Lewis Skelly, I'm happy to see either of those as well. But for me, Timber Calafiori with Saliba and Gabby at the back is just solid. I love it. And Calafiori going forward is that is. I think that's another area we can exploit. Is Salah doesn't track much, and the sort of positions Calafiori takes are so unique. Even when he set up Gyökeres's goal against Leeds, he's sort of in the base of midfield, and he just plays the first time ball over to Gyökeres, and he does the rest. So, I mean, I love Calafiori. He has to start for me in midfield now. Arteta hasn't done his press conference as I'm recording this video. I've got a feeling Odegaard's going to be fit because it was a shoulder injury, and I think it's the sort of injury where you can sort of play through it. It's Saka's got a hamstring injury. They were never going to take a risk, even if it was just cramp or a strain. They were never going to play Saka because of what happened last season. I think that's the right thing to do. That's why you signed Noni Madueke. But I think Odegaard's going to play. So my midfield would be Zubimendi, Rice, and Odegaard. I think that is our best midfield three at the minute. And I just think that's a solid midfield three that can compete with Liverpool's. They will have McAllister back. So it'll be Gravenberch, McAllister, and probably Curtis Jones, I imagine, which is a good midfield three. Or they'll have Verts in there. And I don't know, they play a weird midfield sometimes, Liverpool. I think it depends on who starts at front for them, whether they use Gakpo, which they probably will. Actually, to be honest, I don't think Curtis Jones will play. Arne Slot's very attacking. I think they'll go Gravenberch, McAllister, and Verts. I think that would be the midfield three. So I'd be happy to see Zubi, Rice, and Odegaard. I think is very effective. The double pivot of Rice and Zubimendi sort of switching between the two positions. I think those two work really well against Leeds. And that's only going to get better with time. So yeah, that would be my midfield three. Now, the front three. I'm going to tell you what I think Arteta's going to do and what I would do. I actually think we're going to agree. I think he's going to start Eze. I've just got this feeling we're seeing a bit more of a ruthless, braver Mikel Arteta this year. I can see Eze starting on the left, Gyökeres down the middle, and Madueke on the right in the absence of Saka. I think starting Eze is a must. You have to start him. We've just signed him, 60-odd million pounds. He's been itching to play for Arsenal. His last 3 games at Anfield, he's played very well. I don't know his record exactly, but I know he scored and he set up Zaha a few seasons ago. But he's got a decent record at Anfield. And I just think it's a great game to put Ebreche into. He's not new to the league. He's been playing here for 4 or 5 seasons now. I mean, if he's not ready now, when is he ready? I think you have to play it I think he's a level above Martinelli and Trossard. And yeah, I just think the more games he plays with the team, the better. So what better way to blood him in and give him a test than away at Anfield against what are probably our main title challengers this season. Start Eze, man. And if he scores, oh my goodness. If he scores, yeah, I don't know what I'll do. But that's my front three. That's my predicted 11. Let me know in the comments if you agree, if you disagree, if you start Martinelli. I also can make an argument for Martinelli starting. It's the sort of game that actually suits him. We'll get a lot of space. You'll need a lot of runners on the counter. I think Martinelli and Gyökeres could be quite effective on the counter. However, I trust Eze to be more effective with the final ball if there is a counter to Gyökeres rather than Martinelli. So you can look at it both ways, but either way, I'd be happy. My score prediction, how do I think the game's going to go? If I'm honest, I can smell a 2-2. I can just smell a Desmond 2-2. I think both teams will go for it. I think it's going to be quite an exciting game. I think Arne Slot's sides, just the way they set up, lead to exciting games because he's very bold and attacking. Pardon the pun. He's very confident in his players and their ability to attack. And he even says he'd rather win a game 3-2 than 1-0. I'm pretty sure he said that. He doesn't mind the basketball game. He sort of embraces it. I remember he said after the Bournemouth game that he never wants to see his team sitting in a low block and protecting leads, which could be a concern for some. Jamie Carragher's been quite vocal on it and said, he doesn't agree. He doesn't want his team to be known as being entertaining. And I understand that. Under Arsene Wenger, a lot of the times people would say Arsenal were the best team in the league. We played the best football. We had the likes of Fabregas, Nasri, Van Persie, Hleb. Rosicky, but we didn't win anything. So Liverpool have won something which changes that. But yeah, you don't want to just be known as being exciting. Tottenham were like that last season under Ange, but to be fair, they won a Europa League. So it depends how you look at it. Do you want to be a team that is known as exciting and is guaranteed goals? But ultimately, if it pays off, you can't really fault it. And Arne Slot, you can't really fault him at the minute. But yeah, 2-2. I don't think we lose. I think we're too defensively astute. We've got that crazy unbeaten record against the so-called Big Six as well. And I can't see it coming to an end. But as I say, let me know your score predictions in the comments below. Arsenal, Liverpool fans. Yeah, it's a big game. I'm excited for it. 4:30 Super Sunday. The Premier League's back. Third game in. And yeah, it feels good. It feels good. But that's it for me. Look out for more content dropping on the channel. There's going to be some transfer-based content coming out, ranking the Premier League transfers, ranking Arteta's transfers. So yeah, look out for that. To see that, you need to like, you need to subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you know when it drops. But yeah, that's it for me. I'll catch you next time. Peace.